Alright, this is our Sabbath study today. February 4, 2012, Shabbat 8R11. Okay, and our study is going to be in Exodus chapter 3. Shemot is how the book is called. Shoshana, can you read Exodus 3:1, please?
Now Moses was pasturing the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God.
Okay. Did that say west side?
Yeah.
Well, that's totally wrong, okay? Hey, focus up here. Umosha haya roe et zon yitro hopno kohen Midian hayin hag et hatzon achar ha-midbar vayavo el har ha-Elohim ha-Horeb. Okay. First we'll correct that little mistake in your translation. Okay. The Hebrew says achar. Okay. Let me find my place. Ah, yes, achar. Okay. And this literally means the backside or the after side. Okay. Alright, and the reason we know this is wrong is because, or that text is wrong, is because if we draw the Red Sea like this, and then we draw the Gulf of Aqaba like this, okay, this is the land of Midian right here. Okay, Egypt is over here, Mitzrayim, okay, and this is Midian, or Midian. Okay, and modern Saudi Arabia is over here, and what is misnamed the Sinai Peninsula is here. Okay.
Make the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean is over here somewhere, okay?
Make it.
Make it? Okay, like that.
No, you made it
Israel
wrong.
is up
That's
here.
Egypt right there, then there should be a little
Israel
bar.
is up here, okay? Alright, now,
That's better.
they crossed the Red Sea at Nuweiba Beach here. Okay, I'm going to cross on dry ground. Now, the mountain range runs basically like this. Okay? Now, the people lived on this side. The Midianites, this is where they lived. Jethro would live down here somewhere. Okay? Mount Sinai, or Horeb, was right here. Okay? The backside of the wilderness could be reached two ways. You could go around the mountain that way, or you could go around it that way. Okay, and that was on the east side of the mountains of Midian. Okay, so if there were a front side of the mountain, it would be on the seaside over here. The back side would be on the interior towards Saudi Arabia. Okay, so this is where Moses went to look for pasture for the sheep. Alright. Can I erase all this now?
No.
Do you have a question?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so he went on the back side. And this becomes important later in the narrative. It's called Har Ha-Elohim Ha-Horeb, Horeba, actually. Alright, so this is known as the mountain of God here. Alright.
What's its named today?
It's called Jabal Awaz, the Arabic name. Or Jabal Awaz, like that. I don't know if this really has anything to do with law or not. That sounds too English. It has to be an Arabic name. Jabal is basically mountain in Arabic. Okay. Can you read us the next verse, Shoshana?
The angel of Yahweh appeared to him in a blazing fire from the midst of a bush, And he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, yet the bush was not consumed.
Okay. Vayara Malakh Yahweh Elai Bilavat Esh Mitok Hasne Vayar Behine Hasne Boer Baesh Bahasne Einenu Uchal. Okay. Now we run into this person again here called the Malakh Yahweh. Alright, which your translation translated angel of the Lord. But as we know, this just means messenger. Malakh means messenger. Okay, messenger of Yahweh. Okay. And this person is appearing in fire. Aish.
Draw a picture.
Okay. What?
Draw a picture.
Okay. So we have a bush.
Is it an olive tree by any chance?
A bush or a tree. No, it's not. It's hasne. Hasne. Okay, or sine, which is this letter always bothers me because it's not. Sine. It's specifically a bush. Okay.
Aren't olive trees bushes?
No, not really. No, an olive tree would be called an ates. Vine, sawdust, like that, an ates.
Oh, put the bell.
Okay. That's what an olive tree would be called. But this is a sine, or a bush. And the Malakh Yahweh is speaking out of a flame of fire.
Was it a shrub or bigger?
Huh?
Never mind.
Now, I want to make a connection with this because in Judges chapter 13, the messenger of Yahweh also appears in a flame of fire. Actually, not at first, but when Samson's parents make the offering on the rock, then the messenger rises up in the flame of the fire. So there's some connection here for the messenger being in the flame of fire. Okay. Now let's see, what other features can we get out of this verse? Well, the bush was burning, but it was not consumed. Now, literally it means it was not eaten up. Okay. Inenu uchal.
So it was could be burning, it's just it never ran out of stuff to burn.
Yeah, it appeared to be burning, but it wasn't burning. Okay. All right, can you read us the next verse, Sean?
So Moses said, I must turn aside now and see this marvelous sight, why the bush is not burned up.
Okay, that's a pretty loose translation. Verse 3, Vayomer Moshe Asura Na Ve'er et Hamar Hagadol Hazeh Madua Lo Yivar HaSinei. That's the end of the verse, okay? He says, I must turn aside, I pray. Now it's almost like he's talking to himself, because it's like a poetic language here. Or it's almost like I need to get up the nerve to come and look at this crazy thing here. You might have been afraid of it a little bit before. Okay, and I will look, okay, literally, at Mare, okay, at the sight or the appearance. So you see how the words rhyme? Okay, Va'ere et Hamare. And look at these endings on here. Va'ere et Hamare.
A lot
Okay.
of A's.
What?
A lot of A's.
This vowel combination here. Segol, hey, on the end of the word, that's a vowel. Okay, and if you listen to a Sephardic reader, it makes an A sound on the end.
Sephardic.
Sephardic reader,
Okay,
right.
Sephardic.
Somebody who knows a Middle Eastern version of Hebrew, which Sephardic people say they're ayns, and they also stop when they get to their aleph. They're not just silent letters. And they trill their R's more correctly too. Okay, so it's more of an original way of talking. All right. So this is a great sight, Hagadol, Hazeh. And to see why the bush is not burns, but it's not eaten up. Okay. Miriam, read verse 4, please.
When Yahweh saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am.
Okay.
I'm confused.
Vayar Yahweh Kisar Leirot Vayikra Eli Elohim Mitoch HaSinai Vayomer Moshe Moshe. Hear that A sound again? Moshe Moshe Vayomer Hineni. Okay, and that's like saying, here I am. Here I am. Okay.
Can you say I in Hebrew?
Ani. Okay. Alright, so he says that. Okay, Shoshana. Read next verse. Verse 5, I think.
Then he said, Do not come near here. Remove your sandals from your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground.
Okay. Now, where else do we run across these words? Let me read them in Hebrew first here. Before. Vayomer el tikrav chalom. Shal ni'alecha me'al regelecha. Ki hamakom asher ata omed alai adamat kodesh hu. Okay. Place where you're standing is holy ground. Take the sandals off of your feet. Who else says this, and where do they say it?
Joshua,
To Joshua. And who is it that says it?
the angel of the Lord.
No, it doesn't say the angel of the Lord.
No.
The captain of Yahweh's hosts.
Oh.
Okay, the captain of the armies of the Lord. Okay. So here, it's the messenger of Yahweh. But we've already seen in verse 4, Vayar Yahweh Kisar Leirot, when Yahweh saw that he turned aside to look. So the text is identifying the messenger of Yahweh as Yahweh. Okay, and the ground is holy because God is holy. And in Joshua, I think the end of chapter 5, or the beginning of chapter 5. End of chapter 5, okay. He says to Joshua, remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Okay, he uses the same phrase. So there's a connection in the scripture between those two points, okay? As well as a connection of being involved with the fire, appearing in the fire of the bush, and also the messenger of Yahweh appearing to Samson's parent and ascending. Okay, remember we talked about the word ascending or going up? We're going to run into that later in this passage here. Okay. Verse 10. Oh, it's printed front and back. Okay. So I just need to flip it over. Alright. Marjorie, would you like to read verse 6, please?
Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God.
Moses finally figured out who it was. Okay. Okay.
Like that bush.
And this is, remember in the preceding verse, the messenger speaks, and the narrative identifies him as Yahweh. But he doesn't identify himself. He just says, take the sandals off your feet. And then he follows and he speaks in the first person now. So between the two sentences in the beginning of this sentence, Moses has figured out that Elohim is appearing to him. Okay? Vayomer Anoke, Anochi, Elohai, Avicha, Elohai, Avraham, Elohai, Yitzhak, Ve'Elohai, Yaakov, Vayaster, Moshe, Panaiv, Ki, Yarei Mehavit El Elohim. Okay. He was in fear from making a look at Elohim. Literally, Mehavit means making a
I
look
think it
or
was his
taking a look.
mind not to get burned up like the bush.
Doesn't want to take a look at Elohim. Okay. And no, he's fearing because he recognizes he's in the presence of God. Okay. And Miriam, can you lend your Bible to Ari? And Ari can read verse 7.
Verse 7 where?
Right there.
The Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and have given heed to their cry because of their taskmasters, for I am aware of their sufferings.
Okay. Vayomer Yahweh, Ra'o Ra'iti. Now that is seeing I have seen. Okay, so there's evidence. Listen to the words. Ra'o Ra'iti. Seeing I have seen. The Hebrew often doubles things up to emphasize them.
It's annoying.
Annoying to say. Okay. Et Oni Ami. Okay, Ami people. Asher B'Mitzrayim Ve'et Tza'akatam. Okay, their cry. Shema'ati Mifpnei Noksha'iv Ki Yadati Et Mach'ova. Mach'ova. Alright. Forgot what that word means. What does it say in your translation at the end of the sentence?
They're suffering.
No, that's not it.
Huh? Where?
Read the verse again.
Sufferings?
Read the verse again.
It says sufferings.
Pain. That's what it means. Pain. Okay.
Mine says sufferings.
Okay. The pain of the people. Okay, I guess you could translate that suffering. Right? Okay, Ari, can you read verse 8?
So I have come down to deliver them from the power of the Egyptians, and to bring them up from land to a good and spacious land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanite, the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Parasite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite.
Did you say parasite?
Oops.
Okay, read the first several words of verse 8 again, Ari.
So I have come down to deliver them from the power of the Egyptians.
I didn't say you, I said for Ari.
You can't touch my Bible.
Okay. Va'erev, I will come down, literally. So God's coming down from heaven to see. Okay. Lahatzilo miyad mitzrayim. To deliver it from the hand of the Egyptians. Okay. This word deliver is important. Okay. To deliver from the hand of the Egyptians. Okay. Ul ha'aloto mi haaretz hahi. Okay, and to bring it up from the land. Okay, this exact wording is very important here. Ula ha'aloto. Okay, and to bring them up. Okay, so they're in the land of Egypt. Okay, Mitzrayim. And the language is that they're going up from the land. Okay, got